Hi, Walter. How are you today?
Hi, Yvette. I'm doing great.
Good. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me in this virtual conversation. Everybody, this is Walter Moreau. He is the Executive Director of Foundation Communities, which is one of our wonderful charitable organizations that we are proud to partner with. And I'm going to let Walter tell you all about this wonderful organization.
Great. Thank you so much for raising awareness about our work. We have 7,000 residents here in Austin that are struggling to make ends meet, have tight budgets. Most of them are working, and it's gotten so expensive here. Rents are high. But we provide affordable housing at 27 communities all over town. And typically, our two-bedroom rents, say, are in the $800 ballpark, which is almost less than half of what rents are. Our
Mhm.
model is really not just housing, but also services. We focus a lot on education. We run big learning centers on site where we have about 1,000 kids a day in after-school programming. Of course, a lot of that's virtual right now. We do a lot of health programs, from fitness classes to we just did a round of flu shots to make sure that everybody got that. Um, we also do a lot of financial programs to help people on a tight budget. So we do income taxes for free. We just started the health insurance enrollment season, November and December. Um, I'm proud to say too, just like Realty Austin, we're homegrown. We started here little over 30 years ago by a group of UT college students. They were involved in co-op housing, and they just had this very basic vision that as Austin grew, there ought to be really beautiful, affordable housing for everybody, and it started with that. And here we are today with 27 communities and 7,000 residents.
Yes, I love it. Speaking of beautiful communities, if someone were to drive by one of the foundation communities complexes, they would have no idea that it's affordable housing. So tell
Yep.
me a little bit more about that and how foundation communities has helped to change the perception.
Yeah, one of my passions has been that we want our affordable housing to be beautiful and a community where people are really proud of where they live. When I talk about affordable housing, especially to neighborhood groups, just those two words, affordable housing, can scare people. This visual image pops into mind of old HUD projects, um, and I know that if a lot of people watching this today, if you've driven by Cardinal Point in the Four Points neighborhood, or Bluebonnet Studios on South Lamar, or Capitol Studios downtown, or Homestead down south on Slaughter Lane, they really don't look. They're very high design and well managed, beautiful appeal and flowers, and um, that's what we want to maintain. And we've done that for the last 30 years. Um, I think it's gotten better over time. We used to have some pretty fierce neighborhood battles, what we call NIMBY, not in my backyard. And we've overcome that, that changed people's perceptions that affordable housing would be ugly or not safe. Um, I think we've also overcome somewhat this idea that that's going to be those people, whatever they mean by that. Um, because you can't live in Austin and not know somebody that needs a little help. We rely on hardworking people in our retail and service economy to mow your lawn, to cut your hair, to watch your kids, and they got to live somewhere. And often it's somebody from church, from school, and or somebody in your own family. Um, I remember when we built Homestead, we're really far away from the Cherry Creek neighborhood, but the neighborhood president lived on the boundary of the property, so we were literally in his backyard. And he and his wife weren't excited about us building there, but when we were finishing, he called me and he said, you know, Homestead's really nice. Uh, Congratulations. I'm glad to be neighbors. And by the way, um, sorry, my doorbell. He said, by the way, my cousin um, is looking for a place to stay. Do you think he could live at Homestead? I said, sure. Yeah, he's welcome to apply.
Mhm.
So I, I hope that we can keep building in all neighborhoods in Austin, and our reputation will grow, and that perception of affordable housing will keep changing.
Yes, I agree. Couldn't agree more. I know that Realty Austin has volunteered on site for the last at least like 7 years, and we've gotten to know some of the residents, and they really are just people like you and me, trying to really get by and better themselves. And I know that Foundation Communities really does a great job lifting them up when they're a little down. So thank you. So I wanted to ask, in what ways has the community responded to helping foundation communities during the pandemic?
I've been just amazed at how generous people have been. The real emergency in March and April when things shut down was people lost their jobs and or lost hours, and especially our residents in service and retail and restaurant kind of work. We put out an appeal for an emergency fund to help cover rent and pay for food. All of our food pantries doubled. Um, and people really responded. So we've raised over the course of the year, not quite $1 million, spent a lot of, more than half of that on rent and more on food and supplies. I think we have enough money left to help us get through the year, but um, slowly, people have been able to get back to work. So the need for that rental help has dwindled a little bit each month. But that's just one of the really tangible ways people have helped. One other thing we did, we have 6 communities that are designed for individuals that have been homeless or at high risk, and they're isolated. These are a lot of medically vulnerable folks, and we couldn't do the normal supper clubs and programs that get people out of their apartment. So we did care calls, and we had 100 volunteers that we were able to match up with residents. Sometimes it's daily, sometimes it's weekly, but they just check in with the resident to become a friend and see how things are going. And we've heard so many good stories. It's really been a boost to help people get through the year.
Oh, that's so wonderful to hear. I know sometimes people just want to hear a friendly voice and know that somebody cares.
Yep.
So I applaud all the volunteers who helped with the care calls.
We've had
Um,
to continue to we do taxes and health insurance, and that's now had to shift to virtual. The programs that tutor kids, that's had to go online mostly. So we've had really we have about 2,000 volunteers in all these different programs, and they've stuck with us and helped out.
yeah, and I know the tax um, help has been really big for our economy, the Austin economy, in past years. So that's wonderful. So to keep helping with that. Um, I want to know, how can the community get involved in supporting foundation communities right now?
Our number one appeal right now is for the holiday program, and our website has details. We usually have about 400 families, and it may increase this year, that sign up, and we match them up with folks to help with mostly presents under the tree. And of course, this year we're not meeting the families, trying to keep social distance from folks. So there's some more tangible, some alternative ways that people can get involved and give. But that's a big need through the holiday season.
Yeah, your team makes it super easy to get involved, I have to say. You can either do an individual page where you can get donations, or like Realty Austin is doing a team page, and we've set a goal to give back to the holiday program. So that's always very well needed.
We're really grateful. And there are book clubs and churches and families, companies, civic groups, lots of different groups. It's a way to have a group volunteer project as well.
Yes, I agree. It seems like it's going to be wonderful this year for the families to receive those gifts, receive the gift cards to really buy what they really need. So,
And our website has a list of the dozen other volunteer programs, other ways that people can donate and get involved. Um, but right now, the most immediate thing that we're thinking about is the holidays in a couple months.
oh yes, we're going to help make the holidays bright. I know other people will too.
Yep.
What this is our last question. What is the most rewarding part of working at Foundation Communities?
Great question. Absolutely, it's meeting our residents and hearing their success, and this year their resiliency to get through this year. We are just opening our seventh supportive housing community, Waterloo Terrace, up by the Domain. Wonderful locations, beautiful property, and I haven't met the residents yet. You know, I spend 4 or 5 years working on a project, and we finally open the doors, and that is the most joyful thing. Um, when our first residents move in, probably the second week of December, and I get to meet them and hear their stories and their experience. That's really great. I will say I also love construction. So I was on the job site today. They're putting in the trees and the landscaping and the final inspections and getting ready for the first residents. So I can get excited about that, but the people side of it's the best.
Oh, I can totally understand that. Yeah, the properties are beautiful, but the residents are even more so. And especially when they share their stories of hope and resilience with you, it's just the most wonderful thing.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. I have enjoyed working on the board of directors with you. I think you're a very impassioned and empowered leader that has done some wonderful things since we've been involved with Foundation Communities. So I look forward to many, many more years of success in providing affordable housing throughout Austin with you.
And I'm just so thankful to Realty Austin. Y'all have embraced our work um, in so many ways and continue to do that and spread the word. So thanks, Yvette.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, thank you for the conversation, Walter. I will see you again soon.
See you soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye.